Welcome to Monster Monday. Today, Nathan, I will educate you.
Please do.
We're going to be talking about a fucking radical monster in this book, Monster Manual book.
Most of them are.
Last time, we talked about a very well-known enemy, the kobold.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're going to talk about an enemy that I had no idea about until I fought one like 3 weeks ago.
Hey, I also fought one like 3 weeks ago.
We were together. We're talking about Yugoloths.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Yugoloths, Nathan,
Yes.
are fiends
Okay.
that act as mercenaries
Yes.
and are notorious for their shifting loyalties and are embodiments of avarice.
Just like my mother-in-law, am I right, fellas?
Oh my god. It's already started.
I don't actually have a mother-in-law.
Before serving under anyone's banner, a Yugoloth asks the only question on its mind. What's in it for me? The first Yugoloths were created by a sisterhood of night hags on Gehenna, which is an outer plane, and is widely believed that their creation was commissioned by Asmodeus in the hope of creating an army of fiends that were not bound by the nine hells.
Okay.
Which is radical.
Yeah, so they're not devils, but they're fiendish still?
Yes.
Okay.
It is neat. In the course of making this army, the hags crafted 4 magic tomes called the Books of Keeping, each containing the true names of every Yugoloth they created, except for one, which we'll come back to later. These tomes, interestingly, were also used by the hags to capture the true names of other fiends that crossed them. It's rumored that the Books of Keeping contain the names of a few demon lords and archdevils as well.
Oh.
So you sneak
a plot device?
Sneak that into your campaign. But naturally, eventually, jealousies and endless bickering led the sisterhood to dissolve, and the Books of Keeping were lost. There's another plot point for you. With their newfound independence, Yugoloths now offer their services to the highest bidder.
Okay. Neat.
Which is weird, but cool.
Yes. So then
I love
they
it.
reside in the Nine Hells?
So, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So, you summon Yugoloths, much like you do devils. Summon Yugoloths demand...
One of a virgin.
Exactly.
Lots of gold.
Exactly. They demand much for their service, making them, expensive AF mercs.
Yeah. Probably worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're getting a whole army depending on what you summon.
Okay, wow.
Because there are tiers of general Yugoloths that you can. It's radical. But the cost of maintaining Yugoloth's army typically exceeds what any warlord on the material plane can pay.
So these guys are they're serious.
They're legit.
Okay.
They're legit. Promises made by Yugoloths are quickly broken.
What dicks.
When better opportunities present themselves.
God, gosh.
Yeah. Yugoloths can be reasoned with, unlike devils, but are rarely true to their word. Which is...
pretty rude, dude.
Yep. Yugoloths quarrel amongst themselves constantly.
They
They just feed on violence.
Yeah,
So
They sound like bad people.
yeah, they're not good. They're not good.
Demonic things.
Yugoloth armies are more organized than hordes of demons, but less regimented than a legion of devils.
Okay.
So they've got their act together, but not
fully.
Exactly.
They're right out of university.
Yeah.
They're getting their first job. They're trying their best.
They just want to fight anything, basically.
Yeah.
Yugoloths are leaderless.
Okay.
They don't have any one
Yeah.
Yugoloth leader.
They said there were tiers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Leading them to just simply fight to indulge themselves, basically, provided that it has a benefit to doing so.
Yeah.
So to answer your question before as to where they reside, when Yugoloth is killed on any plane other than Gehenna, it dissolves into a pool of ichor and reforms at full strength back on Gehenna.
I'm sorry, how do you pronounce Ichor?
Ichor?
You're disgusting, but continue.
Ichor.
Okay.
when summoned...
They're immortal. Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt,
basically.
They're just like basically immortal.
Basically.
Just like Rakshasas and other stuff. You just like kill them, and if you don't go to their home...
Well, I think it's cool because like devils also need to be killed on their home plane. So that sort of like backs up the theory that Asmodeus had something to do with their creation.
Sure.
So when summoned to other planes, Yugoloths fight without concern for their own well-being. Because they're just going to come back anyways. A Yugoloth destroyed on Gehenna is killed permanently.
Okay.
Also much like devils.
Is there a finite number of Yugoloths?
It's unclear.
Okay.
They have armies.
Yeah.
So I think it seems like there's a lot of them.
But
it doesn't cover like creating more Yugoloths or like how Yugoloths procreate.
Like a birth process.
Not that's outlined in the monster manual.
Because if they were created by hags, I don't know.
A specific like coven of hags too.
Interesting.
Yeah. When Yugoloths are destroyed on Gehenna, is killed permanently.
Okay.
Much like devils again. Yugoloths know this, and they're more likely to retreat or beg for mercy when confronted on their home plane.
Oh.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Don't want to get permanently wiped off the face of everything.
Exactly. However, Nathan, and this is where it gets fucking sweet. If a Yugoloth is revived via unholy ritual, its name reappears in the Book of Keeping.
Okay.
Because when it's killed, the name
disappears.
So they can be revived even if they're killed permanently.
Okay. But like how? Plot.
Via unholy ritual.
Yes, let me get my unholy spell list out.
That's right.
Okay, that's neat. That's again another cool like thing to do.
Adding on to the plot points, each Book of Keeping still exists and are occasionally stumbled upon by the brave and foolish.
I'm brave and foolish.
A Yugoloth summoned using its true name is forced to serve its summoner obediently, though it makes its displeasure known.
Of course.
The Yugoloth will follow its instructions, but may look for opportunities to misinterpret them.
Absolutely.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like asking a genie for a wish.
Exactly.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's like just the general, overall encompassing
story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in the monster manual, there are 4 different types of Yugoloths that they go into. I'm not going to go like super in depth into like breaking down their stat blocks.
Sure.
But just as like an overarching theme, there's a few points that pretty much all the Yugoloths share. They have a mega high AC, ranging from 17 to 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What CR are these?
So I believe the lowest one is 5, and let me just look here. Yeah, so the highest one is 13.
Okay.
So it's a good spread.
Yep.
Let's see here. They either have an increased base speed or a flying speed.
Okay.
Or both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They have extensive damage resistances, immunity to acid and poison damage. They all possess telepathy. They're all innate spellcasters.
Even the 5th tier one?
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep. They all have magic resistance.
Ugh.
Yep. Their weapon attacks all count as magical for overcoming resistances.
Okay, so these guys mean biznads.
Yes. And each of them has an action they can do to teleport 60 feet to a point they can see.
Okay, so just get better Misty Step as well.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. And I believe a couple of them tie that into their attacks, where like you can make an attack and teleport.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can like make your attack, teleport out.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And one of them has a kick-ass purple robe.
With like a weird purple vest. Yeah, that's the last one we'll cover. But sort of like the grunts of the Yugoloth army, or the Mesoloths, they're the CR5, which is still substantial.
Super grunty.
It's substantial considering that they're the grunts. They make up the bulk of the population, and they're drawn out to be like human-sized insect creatures.
Like beetles.
Yeah, they're covered in chitinous plates.
Yuck.
They have these like weird prehensile arm things.
Yeah. It's like the worst claw machine game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh god, yeah. They serve as the foot soldiers in the army, and they're motivated most easily by violence and reward. Powerful beings that promise one or the other can easily attract Mezoloths into service.
Maybe I should try and hire some Mezoloths in my game.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes for you. They boast a trident, but they can also make claw attacks and can cast the Cloud Kill spell once a day.
Okay.
Which is...
It's like not bad.
No,
it's static.
It's as far as their spell casting goes, is the once a day Cloud Kill.
Like still,
but yeah.
That's enough.
It's a nice little try to escape.
Yeah.
Throw your Cloud Kill out and try to book it out of there.
Fart on them and then run away. You know.
I think it's described as they like barf it out.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yucky.
They make 2 attacks on their action.
Yeah, that's pretty... CR5, that sounds pretty common.
1 claw attack and 1 trident attack.
Right.
Pretty standard.
Yeah.
The next...
How much are we talking with those guys?
75.
Okay.
Which is decent.
AC, yeah. It's like pretty good.
The next one in the monster manual is the Yugoloth, CR9, so it jumps up quite a bit.
Substantially.
Exactly. They're like the airborne gargoyle type enemy.
Yeah.
So they're the ones with like the flying speed and the enhanced speed and the teleportation.
Yeah, they're mobile little buggers.
Exactly. They're described as striking hard and fast without warning and then teleporting away. So they're the
shock troops.
They're the cheesers.
Yeah.
They're the cheesers. They have the ability to cast invisibility.
Oh wow.
Or mirror image.
Okay.
Which is one of my favorite spells.
That's a dope spell.
I love that spell so much.
Like shimmering versions of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they cast that on themselves to further confound the enemies that they're up against. Which, I mean, taking an attack, teleporting away, turning invisible, going back in for an attack, teleporting away.
Yeah, it's that gets a little frustrating.
Yep.
Especially as like a martial class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're the most loyal of the Yugoloths and are unlikely to break their agreement with an evil master that treats them well.
What good guys.
Exactly.
They're just trying their best in the world.
Now, they will break that promise, though, if the reward for doing so is worth it.
Of course.
But
man, these guys are dicks.
They're not good. They're all evil. They can attack with claws that inflict fiendish wounds, similar to like a sword of wounding or, just a weapon of wounding.
Damage on your upkeep.
Exactly.
On your beginning of your turn. Sorry, I also play magic, so that's it's way easier to translate that to me, but yes.
It would just get so easy to get ganked by these guys, like taking a wound and then they're just out of there.
These things drive by you. Mm-hmm. Is it a D4 per wound?
Let's see here.
Or is it a D6?
2D4.
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 So yeah, like 3 of... Okay, well, they are CR9, so 3 of these things would be, like, a lethal fight, probably, but, like, going invisible, this thing fly, 60 feet?
Yep.
So, yeah, they fly 60 feet, hit you, all 3 hit.
Even their base walking speed is 40.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to outrun most characters.
And they just teleport away.
Yeah.
And you're just left, like... blood seeping out of you. These fiendish wounds attacking you.
Yeah, they're brutal. But they can also attack with a great axe, which deals like hefty slashing damage. Let's see what that comes. Yeah, 2d12 plus 5.
That is a lot.
Which is pretty hefty.
Potentially, it's a lot.
Yeah. It could be 7.
Yes, it could be 7. The D12 is my favorite dice.
Oh, no.
As far as, like...
No.
Action... And this is going to sound weird, as, like, looks go, and I feel like rolling it is super...
It's a fickle bitch.
It is, yeah.
It's either a 1 or a 12.
Yeah, like, there's... The law of averages does not apply to the D12.
I have had nothing but bad luck with it. I played a barbarian for, 2 sessions once. And it was not...
No bueno.
Yeah, no. It's the barbarian die.
Just use the greatsword and get 2d6.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Adding to the Yugoloth's pain, it makes 2 melee attacks.
Okay.
Or makes 1 melee attack and teleports before or after the attack.
Before?
or after.
Interesting.
Yes. So you could teleport in, make the attack.
Or you could attack and get away.
Exactly.
Man, that sounds like a bitch.
It is a pain.
Yeah.
And it only gets worse from there with the next two.
God.
Yeah. The next one mentioned is the Arcanoloth, which is CR12.
It sounds very magical to me.
It is.
Can the Yugoloth cast spells?
Yes. Yeah, it casts mirror image and invisibility.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry, my apologies.
And a couple other ones, but those were the main.
Big,
exactly. Those were the ones that
I
looked at, and I was like, these would fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So Arcanoloth.
Yes. So CR12 jumps up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not as beefy, not as hardy, a little bit lower AC.
Probably trying to stay at the back a little bit.
It is a spellcaster through and through.
Boy.
Yeah, which is a pain in the butt.
Sounds dangerous.
They're described as jackal-headed beings with humanoid bodies, but can employ magic to take on any humanoid form.
Oh, cool.
So you could have one of these, like, living in a community.
Your innkeeper is just this thing.
Exactly. Regardless of the chosen form, they always appear well-groomed, clothing itself in fine robes.
Okay.
They're highly intelligent spellcasters, and they hunger for knowledge and power. So if you have that, maybe you could get an Arcanoloth in your service. But to have a CR12 employee...
Like doing your bidding.
Yeah.
Intern, fetch me my coffee.
They command units of lesser Yugoloths.
Okay.
And they maintain the contracts, records, and accounts of their kind.
Oh, they're the fucking nerd Yugoloths.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
With that nerdiness comes a sweet ability, which is the ability to speak and write all languages.
Okay.
Which makes them cunning diplomats and negotiators.
That is pretty dope.
For obvious reasons. When properly paid with information or magic items, can be the difference between the best laid peace talks and all-out wars.
Oh.
Yeah. They're the inside man.
Yeah.
They are the inside man.
Best laid peace talks of everything.
Brought to you in part by Lay's Potato Chips. And now a word from our sponsor. They
like Lay's.
Yeah, well, they're okay.
Ruffles are way better.
Yeah, well, Lay's has a wavy, which is all right.
It's not the same.
It's all right.
Okay.
Anyways, we're getting off topic. Arcanoloths possess True Sight, which is cool.
That is super cool. That is a good ability.
That is a super good ability.
Nice invisibility, bro.
What might be an even better ability? They are 16th level spellcasters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they mean business.
So what's that DC, like 18, 19?
It's gotta be high.
Yeah.
They have a plethora of dangerous spells, including invisibility, suggestion, counterspell, fireball,
I like them already.
dimension door,
Oh, wow, okay.
hold monster,
Oh, wow.
chain lightning, finger of death,
Jesus.
and mind blank, just to name a few. That's not even all of the spells they can cast. Those were my top fuck you spell picks.
Chain lightning, fireball, and mind blank are all very, very powerful spells. I mean, all of them are that you said, but like those ones stand out to me. But also, like, if these guys are commanding other Yugoloths, the like hold monster into like getting fucked up by all the rest of them is very bad for you.
Yeah.
It's like they all have advantage on their attacks, basically won't miss you. No bueno.
It is a pain in the butt. They can also attack with claws that deal bonus poison damage.
Okay.
But that's like the least of your worries.
Yeah, no, that's not what they're going to be
with
doing.
all those spells that they have access
Fireball,
to. Yeah.
Like, I mean, the D&D staff have gone on to say that they purposely like over buffed Fireball because it's so iconic. Mm-hmm. And I think that the 5th edition Fireball is the most broken Fireball's been, at least as far as I know.
Sure.
So having an enemy know Fireball, no bueno.
Mm-hmm. Not going to go well for you. And that leads us to the 4th and final Yugoloth.
The only one that I have ever encountered.
We fought it together.
Almost died like 8 different times.
So it's pretty cool. It's CR13, so just a little bit higher than the Arcanoloth.
Not much, but enough.
They are the Ultraloths. They're the generals of the army. They are described as slender, gray-skinned humanoids with an elongated head. Their faces bear no features except for 2 ovoid eyes, which they use to charm their enemies. Nobody deserves to be charmed. Their charm's a little bit different, which I'll get to. It's a little bit of a different ability.
Not like
it's not your traditional. Yeah, no, it's not the same. They're known to continually scheme to enhance their own power, and when they're not employed to fight in the Blood War, they lead their forces throughout the plains and act as crime bosses or commanders of evil mercenary companies.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Blood War is the war between demons and devils, correct?
Yes, the ongoing eternal conflict.
Yes, between the hells and the abyss.
Did it end? Is it still going? Has it been retconned?
No, it's still going.
Oh, yeah. They have a reputation for cruelty and command their minions to fight while staying removed from the combat.
That sounds correct.
They themselves are more than capable fighters,
they
but they choose to take the back seat because they have an entire army at their disposal. Lesser Yugoloths know their place while in the presence of an Ultraloth and respond to its summons without demand for payment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
these guys are in fact the bee's knees.
Exactly. They also possess True Sight.
Okay.
Which is, you probably expect it.
Yep.
And can cast spells such as Invisibility, Suggestion, Dimension Door, Wall of Fire, Firestorm, and Mass Suggestion, which can be a pain in the bum.
Yeah.
And again, that's not all the spells they can do, but they bear a long sword that inflicts like low slashing damage.
Okay.
But it's cool. Because they sort of tie that in with its action. But it can also use its Hypnotic Gaze, like we talked about before, to charm an enemy that it's fighting.
Okay.
It's a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw, or you're charmed by the Ultraloth until the end of its next turn. The charmed target is stunned.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Yikes.
Yeah. So that ties in really well with its action, which is, as an action, the Ultraloth can use its Hypnotic Gaze and makes 3 melee attacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
stunned.
You're stunned. You're
advantage.
You're basically getting hit 3 times. When it's like 3d8 or like 3d10 plus
a lot.
Not that much.
Plus like 12.
Yeah. But still, like you're
enough.
Yeah, you're taking
also,
the
you
hits.
Just don't get a turn.
Actually, let's look here.
It's right in front of us.
Yeah. So plus 9.
Okay, so plus 3 each.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like again, like that's you don't get a turn.
Yeah, no, your turn is gone.
Until
you're taking 3 hits basically.
And then if for some reason, so like it has Firestorm and Wall of Fire too, so it has some like battlefield control spells.
Yep.
So if you get singled out by this thing, you are just like, if you don't make that wisdom save, you're done.
Yep.
Just over and over and over again.
Wow. It's fighting one of these things was not fun.
It was, but it wasn't.
I kind of feel like we might have been given a pity victory.
I mean, I got really close.
Yeah, because we didn't just fight.
No, we fought
the Ultraloth.
We fought an Ultraloth and 3 or 4 Succubus.
Yeah.
And we were level 8.
Yeah.
And there were 3 of us.
Yeah.
And our party composition is awful.
Well, it's 2 wizards and a rogue.
Which is awful.
It could be worse.
No, it couldn't.
Could be 3 druids. Anyways.
You're such a jerk.
One final point to make on the Ultraloths. So at the beginning of this, I told you that there was one Yugoloth whose name was not in the Book of Keeping. And that is an Ultraloth called the General of Gehenna. And I'm just going to read its little description out of the book here, because it's very, very cool. Somewhere in the brimstone wastes of Gehenna, there roams an Ultraloth so strong that none contests its power. The General of Gehenna. Many Yugoloths search for this great general in the hope of serving with him. They believe that service with the General of Gehenna grants power and prestige among lower planar entities. Whatever the case, no fiend finds the general unless the general desires it. His personal name is unknown, and even the Books of Keeping contain no mention of this powerful, thoroughly evil entity. That could be...
Do you smell it? Do you smell the plot already happening?
That could be a boss. That could be an end boss of a campaign.
So, if you don't mind, do you want to do a little encounter enemy boss thing like we did for the
Yeah,
Cobalt?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I mean, like I said, I haven't really looked into these things much, but the Mesoloth, the lowest one, right?
Yep.
That sounds like a great just encounter to me. Like, whatever enemy you have, it will be like kind of a lower level thing. Shelled out some money or power and like bought in some of these guys, and you fight it once.
Well, even if you want to introduce it to your party that's sort of lower level, you could do it as like the boss of like the end of a session.
Yeah.
You could work it in that way,
Yeah,
but it's
like,
it's definitely not like the end goal to kill the Mesoloth.
But it might be, because it's pretty powerful for how low like CR5
it's true.
it is.
It's true.
And then as like, so that would be as an encounter, and then as an enemy, well, I can totally see, especially like bringing a Yugoloth in early. And then instead of like always making it fight, it's like doing like a hit and run tactic and always running away. That would be infuriating, but also be like a good sign of their like power. Like this thing's powerful enough to like come in, mess you up, and then just leave.
Yeah.
So that would be like cool.
Doesn't
encounter.
even care.
And then as a boss, like you were saying, that like the general. That sounds dope.
Yeah.
Like I can already think of like an entire campaign arc that just revolves around finding him. Or the Book of Keeping, and also trying to find his name, like his true name, and then putting it in there, and then like accessing it. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Well, we even just finished a campaign arc that was about an Ultraloth.
Yeah.
We didn't know that going into it. By the end, we found out that was going to be the boss, but he was the one pulling the strings the whole time.
And essentially, you can really put them in anywhere, because they're just mercenaries.
Exactly.
So as long as whatever thing is powerful enough to have like extraplanar contact, then...
And the goal to support.
Yeah. Or
of
the
course.
Promise of something.
Yeah.
Like, I could see some sort of like... Arcanoloths are actually the things that are the most interesting to me. Like some like ancient being that knows the secrets of the universe promises its knowledge to the Arcanoloth. That sounds really cool to me.
Not to mention the ability to like slip them in as an advisor or something.
Yeah. The king's right-hand man.
Exactly.
Just for a billion years.
Untouchable. Just like pulling the string for years.
That is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that in my campaign.
Spoilers.
Shoot. If any of my players are listening, I totally didn't do that.
Of course. Anyways, I think Yugoloths are super cool.
They are.
I feel like
I
had no idea that they were even in here. And they have like 3 pages dedicated to them.
I think whenever I get near the end, I just like skip to the last appendixes and start going through the beasts.
Yeah.
Like I very rarely also look at the zombie section of the PH or the monster manual.
That's for necromancers only, as far as I know.
I'm not no necromancer.
Yeah, either that or your players are stranded on an island and several dead enemies coalesce into a zombie beholder before their eyes.
Happened once, Evan. I understand it was bad. Thank you.
You didn't know any better.
I didn't know any better. Now I know better.
That's right.
Now, when the zombie beholder dies, it'll turn into bandits. It makes so much more sense.
Nathan, I hope you learned a lot about Yugoloths today.
I did. They're cool.
They are really cool.
I'm going to have to pull one in somewhere.
And I hope people use them more.
Yeah.
Because they're freaking sweet.
They are freaking sweet.
And each one has their own little different function that they can pull off.
The shock ones, the Nezzel.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention something. There's a variant ability for the Ultraloth.
Okay.
Here, I'll read it out to you. Some Yugoloths have an option that allows them to summon other Yugoloths.
Oh god, that
yes. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. So I would probably like just give this to the Arcanoloth or the Ultraloth. Those two, I'd say, were probably more like the summoning type.
Yeah.
But the Yugoloth chooses what to summon and attempts a magical summoning.
Okay.
So they each have like a chance of failure.
Yep.
So to summon an Arcanoloth, you have a 40% chance of doing so.
Okay.
Which is decent.
Yeah.
Totally decent. A Mesoloth has a 30% chance.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Like, So is that saying that a Mezzaloth has a 30% chance of summoning another thing?
Yes.
Okay.
A Yugoloth can summon a Mezzaloth or one more Yugoloth, and has a 50% chance of doing so.
Okay.
And they actually summon 1d4 of that many Yugoloths.
Wow. That's terrifying.
Which is crazy. And then finally, the Ultraloth has a 50% chance of summoning 1d6 Mezzaloths, 1d4 Yugoloths, or another Ultraloth.
Okay, so that's either like so that's on average like an additional 15, like 10 to 15 CR just being put in the fight?
Yep.
God, and then do they just stay there?
Yep.
That's terrifying.
It is. It's very cool. I can't believe I forgot to mention it. I didn't include it in my notes. But yeah.
That's a good way to just lose a fight.
Buddy, it's fantastic.
Right.
Yugoloths are cool.
They are cool.
That's the moral of the story. Use more Yugoloths.
Use a lot. I'm sorry.
We're gonna end it there.
Okay.
You're bad and you should feel bad.